we're going to check out Lier Mansion, also known as Lier Mental Psychiatric. This is a former psychiatric hospital that was in operation from 1891 all the way to 1983, so it has been abandoned for over 40 years now. In the early 1900s, lobotomies were performed on patients without their family's consent. They were given electric shocks, insulin comas, and they were experimented on by doctors who really had no idea what they were doing. These days, these types of actions would be considered unethical and wrong. But back then, they thought they were helping the patients. The asylum originally opened its doors in 1891, and it started off as a pretty nice place to stay if you had mental health problems. There was plenty of room and the staff was well trained and actually cared about the patients. But as time went on, things changed. The staff became overworked and underpaid, and they started treating the patients like animals. In the 1960s, the government decided to close down many of the psychiatric hospitals across the country. All of the patients from these facilities were transferred to one central facility where they would be treated. This meant that there were so many patients staying at the Lier Mansion, and it just wasn't a very good environment anymore. Things got worse and worse, and in 1972, it was decided that any new patients would not be admitted to the asylum. Instead, they would be sent to other institutions. The remaining patients stayed at the asylum until 1983, when it was finally torn down. Over the years, many patients have died here, and it's said that their spirits still linger the halls of the old building. I have heard some stories about this place, and I have to say I am quite scared to go there. Many urban explorers have claimed that they have heard the screams of patients echoing through the hallways and the sound of chairs being moved around. I'm hoping that if we do find anything, it'll still be in good condition, because I have seen pictures of people breaking things when they have been there. I hope that we can explore in peace. I saw an interview with someone who claimed that he had experienced some unexplainable things while exploring here. He said that he and his friend were walking through the halls when they started hearing footsteps behind them. It sounded like someone was walking toward them, but when they turned around, there was nobody there. He also said that they could have sworn that there was a spotlight following them as they walked through the building. This lasted for about 5 minutes and then suddenly stopped. He also said that he noticed a very strong burning smell throughout the whole place, which apparently is quite common here. Some people say that it smells like freshly cut grass, but my friend and I have always smelled something burning whenever we have visited. I'm not sure what this could be, but maybe it's the spirits trying to communicate with us. Now let us head over to Google Earth so I can show you exactly where this place is located. Here we are at Lier Mansion. I will pan over to the nearest town so you can get some perspective. Here is the town of Drammen. It isn't too far from here. When we zoom into the mansion, you can see that it is surrounded by trees. I've explored this area many times, and it's quite popular for urban explorers. Now let's fly over to the front of the building so you can see the layout. Here is the main entrance, and right next to it, there is a small cottage. This used to be for the caretaker of the asylum. Now let's fly down to street level. I want to walk along the road and see what we can find. Here we are at the main gate. If you look on Google Maps, you can see that the road continues on the other side of the asylum, but this part has since caved in, so we will have to walk through the field to get to the other end. As we walk along the road, you can see that there are some buildings behind the main asylum. One of these used to be a workshop where the patients could work on different projects. Another one was used as a barn, and the last one was used for storage. If we head back to Google Earth, we can take a look inside the main building. This was the lobby where all of the patients would come and go. Right behind me is the main staircase, and all the way at the end of the hallway is another staircase. Up ahead on the right is the dining room where all of the patients would eat their meals, and straight ahead is the kitchen where the food was prepared. We will head over to the second floor now, and I will show you the rooms that the patients stayed in. As you can see, there are long hallways with rooms on either side. At the end of the hall, there is a bathroom and a staircase, and at the far end of the second floor, there is another bathroom and a sitting area. It is said that the patients were kept in these rooms for up to 23 hours a day. They were only let out for 1 hour so that they could exercise in the courtyard. Some patients were allowed more freedom than others, but most of them never left the premises. Now let's head over to the third floor. Up here, there are more patient rooms, but there is also a very interesting door at the end of the hall. Behind this door is a padded room where patients were strapped to a table. Doctors would perform lobotomies on these tables. A lobotomy is a procedure that was developed in the 1930s. During this procedure, part of the brain is removed in order to alleviate severe mental illness. It is a very controversial procedure, and it is no longer performed. If we continue down the hall, we will come to another bathroom and a staircase. At the end of the third floor, there is a door that leads to the attic. I have been up here before, and it is full of old files and equipment. At the far end of the building, there is another set of stairs that leads to the basement. In the basement, there is a laundry room, an x-ray room, and a morgue. Yes, the morgue is still here, and it is full of bones. I have seen pictures of this before, and I have to say it's quite creepy. Alright, we made it to the other end of the building. Now we can head back the way we came, or we can keep exploring. Let's go through the field. As you can see, the road has caved in, so we will have to make our way through here. Once we get to the other side, we will be able to explore the rest of the asylum. Here is the main building again. It looks pretty cool from this angle. As we walk through the field, we can see the first of the other buildings. This one was used as a workshop. In the next field over, we will see the barn. It looks like it collapsed a few years ago, and here is the last building. It's used for storage, and I don't think anyone comes here anymore. Now we will head back to the main building. I want to show you the back of the asylum. Right behind the main building, there is a two-story structure. This was used as a hospital. The patients would come here for treatment. Some of them were lucky enough to be released after a few weeks. Others weren't so lucky. Here is the view from the top of the hill. You can see how far the land stretches in this picture. This was quite a big facility. It's amazing to think that this place was abandoned over 40 years ago. It's crazy how nature has reclaimed the land. There are trees growing out of the roof and the buildings are covered in moss. It's a beautiful place, but it's also very sad. I can't imagine what these people went through. Well guys, this brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you know of any other places in Norway that I should check out, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.